Hello everyone, now I will show you how to set up your Linksys router. And before I start, I want to remind you that if my video will help you, please support my work. Half of all donations I send to animal shelters. All details are in the description down below. So the first thing that you will need to do is to turn on your router. Take the power adapter. Plug one end of the power adapter into an outlet and the other into the router. Then press the power button. When the router is turned on, the power indicator will be lit. It may take a few minutes for it to completely turn on. Next, plug the cable from your internet service provider or from your modem into a special internet port. This port is usually labeled as Internet, and usually it has a different color. Each cable should be inserted until it snaps into place. Now you need to restore the router to its factory settings. Hold down the reset button on the router for 10 seconds. Wait until the indicator lights on the router start flashing. At times, this button is found inside the router casing to prevent it from being pressed by mistake. In this case, use a slim object to press it down. The router will restart, and the settings will go back to their original factory defaults. Plug one end of the Ethernet cable provided with the router into one of the LAN ports. And plug the other end of the cable into your computer's Ethernet port. Wait a few minutes for connection. Great, we've connected the router to your computer. Now you will need to set it up. But first, let me show you another way to connect the router if you do not have an Ethernet cable or your computer does not have an Ethernet port. Connect the router to the power adapter and cable from your internet provider. This will enable Wi-Fi. If your router is new and hasn't been set up, your Wi-Fi network will be named after the router. Your router has a unique Wi-Fi network name and password printed on a sticker. Connect to it. Awesome, you've connected to the router. Now let's get it set up. First, open your web browser and visit the URL you see on the screen. Use the URL bar instead of the search bar. At the beginning, you will see a form with a login and password. Usually, it is admin and admin. If these credentials are wrong, then find label on your router. The credentials are often printed on the bottom of the device. If none of this works, it means that your router has already been configured and someone has changed the login and password. If you can't find out the login credentials, just reset the router to factory settings. And then log into the router's personal cabinet using the standard credentials. If your router settings do not look like mine, it means that your router has a different firmware. I made a video for every firmware type. You can find all the links in the description down below. I want to warn you right away that there are many firmware versions and they may differ slightly. But don't worry, you will succeed, just watch the video and follow the instructions. First, run the quick setup to manually configure your internet connection and wireless settings. I should also warn you that depending on the firmware version, some setup steps might be missing or appear in a different order. Trust me, you've got this. Just watch the video and follow the instructions. Press the next button. On this page, select the working mode. You need to choose Router. On the next page, select your internet connection type. Usually, this is listed in your internet service contract. If there's no auto-detect feature, select Dynamic IP and click the Next button. Depending on the connection type you selected earlier, this page may look different from mine. If you chose Dynamic IP, then select one of the available options on this page. If your internet provider only allows access for a specific MAC address, you'll need to clone the MAC address of your main computer. If you're not sure, select No, I do not need to clone MAC address. In most cases, there's no need to clone the MAC address. But if the internet doesn't work after the quick setup, try running it again and this time, clone the MAC address. On the next page, set a name and password for your future Wi-Fi network. From the wireless radio dropdown, select Enable. In the wireless network name field, enter the name of your Wi-Fi. Now set the password. If the wireless password field isn't active, click on it first, then type your password. It must be at least 8 characters long. Once you've entered the network name and password, click the Next button. If you were connected via Wi-Fi, reconnect to the new network now. Great! You've completed the quick setup. Click the Finish button, and after a couple of minutes, check your internet connection. Just try Googling something. If there's still no internet, try rebooting your router. To restart it, go to the System Tools menu. Then select Reboot. Click the Reboot button. After rebooting, wait a few more minutes. Sometimes the settings just need time to apply. If the internet still doesn't work, double-check that all the cables are connected correctly. If after all these steps you still have no internet, go to the Network tab. Then select MAC Clone. Now click Clone MAC Address. Save the settings. Reboot your router again. And after a couple of minutes, check your internet connection. If internet still doesn't appear, contact your internet service provider. He will tell you what type of connection you have and what other settings you need to do. That's all. If my video was useful, please support my work. I send half of all donations to animal shelters. All the details are in the description below.